The first one on my list is the Madea funeral movie. This goes on my list of movies that I cannot believe actually premiered in a movie theater. I know that his movies have been going downhill for a long time, but oh my god. The worst thing about this movie is the Microsoft slideshow transitions from scene to scene and the abrupt ending of each scene. Giving this movie a really choppy, poorly put together feel. Also, the Looney Tunes music makes me glad that I didn't actually get my butt out of bed to go and see this movie. Because if I had, that probably would have forced me to become a YouTube content creator. Won't outrage do it to you? The set and the lighting and everything was just under budget and sitcom-y. And not even good sitcom-y, like House of Pain sitcom-y. The characters are same-o. Now there are a few new characters that he added. One is this Star Trek Klingon looking dude. I expected him to be funny, especially since he's a new character. I just felt like he was using his disability to be funny, and you can't do that. That's not going to cut it. The characters are same-o. The black woman that's just all bad, the black guy that's just all bad, and everyone looks like models or escorts. And I have no idea where the budget came and went for this movie. And again, I cannot believe that this was actually in the movie theater. They used to have standards and some self-esteem. Now the plot was textbook Tyler Perry, and I am not a fan of Tyler Perry's textbook. His lessons are always settle black women. Don't do this because black men won't like that. Don't do that because black men won't like that. And life is always about finding a man. Or the you have to forgive everyone without prerequisites because it's for you, it's not for them. Of course, you couldn't benefit from cutting toxic people off. Now, the plot was textbook Tyler Perry, Madea, and whatever kooky friend that was better in the play that doesn't have scheduling conflicts that she could cook up. And they are heading to whatever the title is for the movie. Funeral, wedding, family reunion, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Anyway, they are heading somewhere, usually with family and the characters that are either all good or all bad, and their girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, and wives that are the same thing, poorly developed characters, all good or all bad, and Madea has to get around these people and set them all straight. Secrets are exposed and everyone is forgiven and everyone's lives are changed for good because of Medea's pep talk. They go to the actual event and it's the usual very rushed scene where if you are lucky, something funny happens and the movie ends. I don't remember if anything funny happened that wasn't in the play already because he does recycle the same jokes over and over again as if the audience is new. And since I don't remember, that just tells me that nothing really happened. So on to the next movie. Okay, the second movie I want to talk about is Medea's Destination Wedding. It was more like the Final Destination because it was absolutely disgusting. I can think of nothing more gruesome than bad cinematography, script writing, pacing, acting, and everything that I didn't mention. Now, I have been paying attention to Tyler Perry's career since his play days, and I have seen the not so gradual decline of his films. After seeing the Madea funeral movie and the soap opera quality and the bad built budget, I went into this movie with low hopes, and I still was let down. I think the biggest letdown for me was that I didn't laugh once. At least the funeral movie, as bad as it was, got me one time when Joe's teeth got slapped out of his mouth. The Homecoming Madea movie got me too. Homecoming was actually pretty good, but front-loaded, heavily front-loaded. The end fell flatter than people's butt on Ozempic. It fell flatter than what some people say the earth looks like. But this Final Destination wedding, I'm literally kicking myself right now. Because I thought that maybe I should do a review on it right after I watched it. Now months down the line and I can barely remember the movie. I just remember bad. That's all I can think about. I remember thinking, what is this hot garbage? That was my first impression. I can probably squeeze out some opinions on a few things that I do remember, but I will not watch it again for the sake of this video, for the sake of anything. I think if I did, I would be like that guy that saw the Ark of the Covenant on Raiders of the Lost Ark. I remember Tyler Perry's ex being a successful black woman, or a black woman that has money, or her new man has money. So I knew that she was going to be a villain automatically. And her villain arc was stupid. Even I have a better villain arc than she did. The people in the movie, as usual, were cardboard cutouts with names written on them. The villain black woman that has money. The good black man that can't act but just needs the right woman to love. You know, the male stripper looking muscular guy with the fade and shape up. You know, Tyler Perry's type. The boring side characters that are just there. The clowns that are just there to be made fun of. To which I'm surprised that he's never casted Kevin Hart as one of these clowns in his movies. I mean, that's sort of his shtick, isn't it? Self-deprecating, unfunny humor. He is unfunny enough to be in this movie, and I need to go on a little side rant about this. Why in Tyler Perry's work are all of the quirky characters considered mentally slow? Well, I guess this kind of makes sense, because in the black community, to me, that's how it is sometimes. There is no such thing as social awkwardness, autism, individuality. You have to be what they call slow because you are not like them. They will spend their life savings on some Jordans and will call you slow for liking anime. Meanwhile, they like the Boondocks. Because being slow is less about life choices and more about what a person likes and how they act or operate differently than them. And it's definitely not about emotional intelligence. Now, the production in his early movies, the Lionsgate ones, I feel like the editing was still chopped and screwed, but much better. Everything transitioned and flowed better. Everything was quick and to the point. The camera work wasn't anything out of this world, but better. It was giving very much classy black movie on BET. Now it's giving regular black sitcom on BET. And the plot, I don't want to spoil it too much just in case you want to watch this heaping pile of hot garbage. But the movie's all about a wedding, and for the wedding, I had hoped to get something like Madea's family reunion. I'm not even sure we got a wedding in this one. I think I would liken the wedding in this one to one of those drive-through weddings in Las Vegas. Just not as interesting. The scene when they got the passport and the Mr. Brown scene on the airplane, it ran on for way too long. About as long and as devastating as the pullover scene from the funeral movie. You know, like when the cop took 10 minutes just to get out of the car? Like, when does that happen? I think what happens is that they are freestyling it. So when you freestyle it, like you end up with two really funny things spread apart. And when editing, you want to keep both in there because they are so funny, right? But you also have to keep the context. So you end up keeping all of it just for those two funny moments. Well, that didn't happen in these films. He kept it all for nothing. Another big issue with this film is how lazy the ending was. I went upstairs to wash my hair and came back downstairs and asked my dad what happened while I was gone. He said nothing. I rewound it back and instantly got annoyed. Parents are always right, I'm telling ya. They spent most of the story at a resort, which I saw a lot of reviews of people saying that it felt like an advertisement for this resort. I also saw some people calling this movie a shameless money grab. I disagree completely. In my opinion, it felt more like a promise project for an actor that he's sleeping with. Like he didn't want to get outed again, so he just put it out there. Here you go. You're welcome. I came through on my promise. It felt like a slap in the face to Netflix because Netflix has some bomb-ass originals. It felt like it should have been a Tubi original. And that's an insult to Tubi. I actually love Tubi. They have hard to find movies on there. I wish this movie was hard to find.